Okay, so here's the deal. All right, so now I just saw a video where Tyler Perry was speaking at Lakewood Church recently here in Houston, and when I saw the video come up, I was like, okay, I got to check this out. Now I find this very interesting, and you guys let me know what you think about this, because as in usual form and fashion, he goes over his testimony and his struggles of being homeless, broken, trying to get his place started, and some little family history. And of course, the crowd was cheering. They were clapping. Joel Osteen was sitting there laughing at some of the little anecdotes that he was telling throughout the stories and so forth. And so it was inspirational, very entertaining in typical Tyler Perry fashion, which is fine and dandy and all that good stuff. And it's cool. I guess one of the questions that I have is, how interesting that you would have Tyler Perry to come up and speak and then preach as well, and here at Lakewood Church. Now these ties, I guess that's the thing that gets me, is that you see the ties between certain people and individuals, and how both of them are buddy-buddy with Oprah, and I'm not saying anything bad about that, but it's so funny that when you pan across the audience there at Joel Osteen's church, there was a couple of them where the camera was on them. They had these stern faces, almost to say as if, what is he doing here? Or I don't want to hear anything he has to say. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But that's just the impression that I got as I was watching it. Now, so he goes on and he says some things with regards to how his plays got started and the struggle that he had with that. And he talks about, how God has orchestrated things of that nature. And now, look at, the things that God has used him to accomplish. And when he starts off his sermon, he talks about, yes, I'm a Christian, entertainer or movie producer, what have you. And yes, maybe sometimes I don't do movies that are necessarily Christian, but I am a Christian, so forth and so forth. Now, I guess that's one of the things that got me. I guess that's one of the things that really got me, because, and again, I know some of y'all gonna say, James, just sit there and pray for the brother. James, just sit there and go in on his behalf. I'm really having a struggle with that. And even maybe in my own, personal life, I'm having a struggle with that. When is it that as believers, as saints of God, that we can then become, or get to this place where we want to branch out in our creative processes and branch out in our creative endeavors and say, well, this may not be Christian, but I can still do this. I can still write this kind of story. I can still produce this kind of play. I can still have this kind of theme in my movies, books, music, and so forth and so forth. Where do we get to am I missing something? I really want to know. If I'm missing something, then let me know. Earlier this week, I made a video where I was somewhat passionate about what I was saying, because it hurts me to see the church just be brutalized spiritually, like the way that's being brutalized, and the wool being pulled over their eyes. But yet, at the same time, I had to come to the conclusion and realize that these are the days that God said there is going to be a falling away, and not everybody's going to see in the spirit, and they're going to react, and they're going to be of a fleshly mindset, a worldly mindset. And yes, and I got a little passionate and heated because it hurts to see that. So now, as much as I really like Tyler Perry, and it's almost that feeling that people had with Whitney Houston, where your heart is for them to truly do the unadulterated things of God and really come out hard for God, and then you see them get caught up in the world and and almost justified in a sense. And I'm not saying that he is justifying it. I mean, I don't even know the brother, so I can't really speak to that. But what I can see is look at some of the fruit that's being produced through his creative process. Now, as someone who would like to do films myself, someone who would like to produce myself, as a believer, I just cannot produce a movie where I would have an actor cursing and carrying on and having the love scenes and all that kind of stuff. I just can't do it. I wouldn't do it. That's just me. Am I trying to be too holy? Am I trying to be, too holier than thou? And please let me know. Maybe I'm missing it. That's what it is. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I'm off kilter. maybe I'm the one who don't know what he's doing. You know, because I just firmly believe that as a believer, I'm sorry, I'm trying to shut this door here because the cleaning lady was making some noise earlier. But anyway, I'm just a firm believer that if you're going to be a believer and you're going to make film, music, movies, and all that kind of stuff, then stick to the script. Stick to the script. It can still be funny. It can still be entertaining. It can still be inspirational. It can still tell real life stories. Stick to the script. Now, granted, if I was to write a movie about my life, yeah, there's going to be some parts that you know, I would have to, you know what, I'm going to have to curb that, and I will still tell the truth, but still curb it to the point where it doesn't bring shame. But the fact of the matter, it will be a true story and the things that I experienced. Now, if I'm writing something fictional and it still contains mature adult elements, then that is something different. Then that means that I have taken my liberties and pushed them further than what they need to go as a believer. Because then I'm just creating thoughts and scenes and issues in my head that would be stimulating and seductive and fleshly, and not necessarily, and trying to create a story that is of the world, as opposed to you doing like an autobiography of someone, let's say, who was caught up in drugs. You know, you might have a scene or two that show that they're partaking in and utilizing drugs. Whereas if it's just a fictional story, then that means you were intentional in trying to be, I guess, worldly. I don't know, and trying to show elements that are ungodly. You know, so that's my whole point. I'm not knocking the brother. Oh gosh, I'm just trying to figure out. And then it's funny that these two people, they are so deeply tied with Oprah, and it's funny that again you always see this full circle of these people who are in cahoots with Oprah. They're all on the same stage. They're all on the same platform, and all of that. And there is a difference between them and let's say someone like David Wilkerson. There's a stark difference between them and those who prescribe to the ways of Oprah. You know, again. So anyway, all right. Let me know what you guys think. I just think it's a little weird. And it looked like some people in the audience did as well. And again, you know, I really have high hopes for Tyler Perry, and I'm not saying that anything. I'm just really taken by surprise. Well, in a way I am, but in a way I'm not. I guess the best way to say it is that it's just very disheartening to see where we are as believers. And you know what? God bless the brother, and again, I pray for his success in the spirit. But it is very concerning when you see these things and you still get it up in front of people, and it's almost as though you're justifying. I'm not saying that he is, but it's almost like you make an excuse for some of the types of movies and the themes that you have in your movies as a believer. All right. So anyway, this is James from the I'm Free Project. And remember, Jesus Christ is Lord, not these entertainment figures. All right. Peace.